Hey guys, Brian Kropp here from Newton Falls X. I'm sitting here with Tesa Spletzer and Dougle Hankins, two candidates that are going to be running for the third ward council seat. I decided to sit down with these guys because I wanted to give people an opportunity to kind of get to know them a little bit. We really haven't had a chance. There's not really been a platform or a place to kind of get to know our candidates and to kind of pick their brains a little bit and just get a little bit of an insight about them and let them kind of tell you who they are and kind of what they're about in their own words. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to guys sit down with them. So thanks guys, I appreciate you guys coming and sitting down with me. I know this is something new, new
Thank
for me.
you for having us.
It's my pleasure. I know, like I said, this is kind of new for me, new for you guys, but I think from everybody that I talk to, it seems like people really are hungry for information. They really want to know what's going on, and they're interested, especially with the election coming up. They really want to know kind of about you guys and about what kind of differences or what kind of changes you can bring. I know you guys both live in the third ward, obviously, and are running for the council. So, Dougal, let's start with you. What are some of the things, I know people talk about agendas and plans and stuff like that, but what are some of the things that you see that you'd like to see changed with council, and why are you running? What do you think you can change yourself?
Well, I definitely think I can bring some unity to council. It seems like we're a very divided town, and the council is divided sometimes, maybe all the time. And I really think I can bring a little bit of perspective and unity to that, and hopefully get everybody on the same page. Because so many times governments, especially maybe local governments, they don't get anything done because everybody's always divided. And hopefully I can bridge that gap a little bit.
Excellent. Tesa, and yourself as well. What do you think, if you're able to get on council, what would you like to see changed, and what do you see as maybe kind of the biggest hurdles right now with council?
One of my biggest pet peeves that we have been experiencing for some time has been an issue of transparency. I know for myself, I sometimes feel like we get blindsided by things that just suddenly appear out of nowhere, and it leaves me feeling like we've been kept in the dark behind these smoke and mirrors.
Having sat down with both of you and talked to you both kind of previously to today, but also now, I kind of believe, just like I said, with speaking with you guys, that you guys both seem to want that. You seem to want more transparency, more openness, more honesty. And Tess, I'll start with you. I noticed, me personally, have noticed the infighting and the arguments and that kind of stuff. Is there a way, do you think, that we could go about this, or that you might go about this, that would kind of bring a little bit of rationale or a little bit of common sense and a little bit less impulsiveness to the meetings?
Absolutely, and I think I can speak for both Dougal and I. We are both educators. We know what it's like to be in a classroom, and we know how to conduct ourselves in front of, different ideas, different questions coming at us from different directions.
Yeah, we know what it's like dealing with childish behaviors.
Yes.
It's a good way to look, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's a perfect segue kind of into a little bit more about yourselves a little bit. You mentioned as far as both being educators. I'll jump back to you, Dougal. Tell us a little bit about your history. We've seen, a lot of people have seen, there's been a flyer going around that you guys are both on. It's got a little bit of your backgrounds, your education background, your work background, that kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit more about that, or kind of dive in a little bit of those details. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dougal.
I graduated from Wyndham, 94. I grew up in Wyndham. I went to Mount Union College. I had a son, and I thought, what's the best way that I could spend the most time with him? And I thought, hey, teachers get the summers off.
Right.
So I became a teacher, and teachers don't necessarily get the summers off. That's where I went with that. And then I got my master's from Kent State. I did a lot of coursework at the University of Cincinnati to become a principal. And that's just a road I wanted to go down, and then decided that it wasn't for me. I really like being in the classroom, helping the kids and stuff. So I've been teaching in Wyndham for about 19 years now. I coach basketball, I've coached football, I've coached volleyball, even though I wasn't a volleyball coach. I coach track right now. Hopefully we get to finish out the season with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, I know, right.
But I've lived in Newton Falls for about 15 years now, 16 years. We lived on Orchard Street for a long time. Made a lot of friends, almost family now. And now we live on Ashland Court. right next to my mother-in-law, which is
Convenient.
awesome. I got 4 kids, a beautiful wife, 2 grandkids, and my life is fulfilling right now. And I love the small town atmosphere. I mean, like I said, man, I've lived in Northeast Ohio my entire life. I have no desire to go anywhere else. I am not one of those guys that's stuck in Ohio. You know, I like Ohio. I like Northeast Ohio. I like Newton Falls, and I love the stuff about Newton Falls. You know, our town, the atmosphere, the flowers in the summertime,
Absolutely.
the 4th of July. My son absolutely loves the bike show, the car show. We go every year.
That's great.
We like the trick or treating. We like that small town feel.
Right.
And I just think we have a lot of things here that are good, and maybe they just need enhanced a little bit.
Well, with all that said, and all those kind of your background and stuff, and how does that do you think apply to council per se? How would that immediately apply that background, that kind of knowledge? And Tessa, I'll ask you the same thing.
Well, I think being a teacher, especially a middle school teacher, you got to be able to shoot from the hip. You got to be able to think on your feet.
Absolutely.
And I definitely think I can bring an unbiasedness, so to speak, to council. I don't have like specific allegiances to anybody on council right now. I think we have some good people on council. I think we have some good people in the government. But I would be there not with my own specific agenda, and I think that's part of the problem. I feel like I can make a difference. And I think my years of teaching and dealing with 4 kids and 2 grandkids,
Right.
I definitely think I can do what is morally right.
Excellent. Tessa, and yourself, tell us a little bit more about your path and kind of how you've gotten here as well, and a little bit more about your background and how it applies.
Well, we are currently dealing with this coronavirus that's going to turn everything inside out and upside down. And basically that's how I spent my senior year in Newton Falls. I am a 1986 graduate of Newton Falls, which meant that the 1985 tornado that tore our town inside out and upside down definitely affected my senior year. I left Newton Falls only to go to the Army. I pursued an Army situation because I wanted to go to college, and I felt that I was going to be the one that was responsible for paying for that. So through my service in the Army, I was able to pay for college. I graduated from Kent State, and shortly after that I had a son. And then shortly after that is when I actually started teaching. And 2 years after that, I had a daughter. So I have 2 kids, and now that they are grown and on their own, both of those kids are serving in the military themselves.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Very proud. Proud mom.
Actually, I am. I couldn't be prouder.
That's great.
I have been in Newton Falls my entire life, and there's just no place else I would rather be. You know, and I've spent, like Dougle, 20 years. Well, I was in teaching for 20 years up until 2012. I had a stroke, unfortunately. And that's what took me out of the classroom. But I think something that Dougle mentioned was that, you know, we got into teaching because we felt like we could make a difference. And I think that's why you see both of us pursuing something with city council, is because we feel like we can make a difference.
Something larger than yourselves.
Absolutely. Neither of us got into education to become millionaires.
Right, of course.
Because we all know that that's never going to happen.
Teachers are all loaded.
And I think that's just something that definitely resonates with both of us, is the ability to be able to make a difference.
Well, I see that from a teaching standpoint for both of you. Going into something like that, into a field like teaching, it's a selfless kind of thing. You're going to that for other things. You're going to it with the right kind of mindset. You're doing it because you have the heart for it, those kind of things. And it takes something like that, people like that. I think we need people like that in our city government. I think that's kind of what's lacking, a little bit of that empathy, a little bit of that less about me, more about you kind of mentality. And I think a lot of people have seen that and got accustomed to that over the last handful of years. And I think people are really excited and kind of anticipating a little bit of change. And it's really great to hear that you guys are really interested in those kind of things, and that you have that kind of mindset, that that's what you guys really are focusing on. It's not about yourselves. It's about kind of the majority of the whole. It's about, kind of just helping out and doing your part. And I think that's commendable. Is there anything else?
I think one of the, I think we both share it, and I tell my students all the time, my number one job as a teacher is to make sure that you guys, the kids, know that I care about you. You know that I'm here to help you, and the most favorite part of my job is helping the kids with their everyday lives, more so than making sure you pass this math test, more so than making sure you get a good grade. It's
Life
helping them.
impact,
It's just, hey, something happened at home, I don't know what to do. Well, here, let's talk, let's figure it out. And I tell the kids all the time, I said, the only time you should look down on somebody is to help them up. And I really try to do that with all the kids. And I joke around with them all the time. They joke around back. And it's a great feeling when you see a kid walk across the stage of graduation, and they walk up to you and they're like, and they just say, you know what, thanks. You really made a difference. And
they genuinely mean it. You've actually had an impact. And it's beyond the classroom. Tessa, go ahead.
And it's nice. It is fun to joke around with our students, and get to know them and be a part of who they are and helping mold them into the adults that they're going to become. But one of the things that I brought with me to the classroom from the Army was that sense of order, discipline, and structure. And that is something that my 20 years in the classroom was an absolute must for me to have. Because without order, discipline, and structure in the classroom, it would have been just total chaos, which is kind of how some of the council meetings have evolved, unfortunately. But anyhow, back to my classroom situations, I would greet my students every year with a smile on the face and, welcome them into my classroom. But I would let them know from the get-go that, hey, I'm not your buddy, your pal, your friend, or your dude. I am Mrs. Spletzer, and I am your teacher, and I'm here to teach you. We've got things that need to be accomplished, and we are going to get those things done. Let's get to business.
In orderly fashion.
Very much so.
And I think that would translate very well to a council setting, because as you guys know, with council, when it comes to meetings and the agendas and things that are happening, it's a constant battle, it seems like, with the different personalities and different ideas and ideologies and stuff of the different people on council. So having the ability to work together with people well, and also just kind of, like I mentioned earlier, not being impulsive, having a little bit of a level head and being rational, those things really lend themselves to being able to be quality individuals that can help move things along, or be a voice of reason, or that can kind of, like I said, offer some suggestions or ideas and just be cooperative. And it sounds like you guys have a lot of experience in that, and I think that will really translate well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys hopefully on the November ballot, both you guys, and then we'll see how that goes. You guys can kind of go head to head, and that's really the goal is to get you guys in the primary here, is to get you guys on the ballot. And I hope that the people
may the best woman win.
Honestly, I'd be okay with that. I would love to see me there in November.
Excellent.
If Tesa wins, that's great.
Absolutely. And I love and I've talked to you guys, even off camera as well. I've just talked about
and
this.
And I would be totally fine if it's Dougle that proceeds to November, or wins the election in November, because I know that either one of us is going to bring something to council that is not there right now, and I am convinced that we deserve better. We deserve better than what we are getting with what's currently there.
I agree.
And what we've had in the past. We deserve better.
I agree. Well put. And I think that either one of you guys would do the city proud. And I look forward to, unfortunately, I don't get to vote for you guys in March or on the 17th. I wish I did. But I do encourage everybody in the 3rd Ward, get out and vote, guys. That's the only way they're going to be able to make change here in Newton Falls. You got to get out and vote. We got Tesa Spletzer. We got Dougle Hankins running for the 3rd Ward Council. We really need you guys to get out and vote, get out in numbers, support these guys, get them on the ballot. Let's get this moving forward and get some change, some real positive change here in Newton Falls. Thanks, guys. If you haven't yet, join the group. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. The website, as I've said probably half a dozen times now, it'll get done whenever I get it done. I haven't really got around to it yet because I've been doing stuff like this. But this is how we really make moves and how we make an impact on the community and how we get people informed. Just like this, we sit down and actually talk to the people that are actually involved and let them kind of tell you who they are from their own mouth. And if you guys have any questions or if there's anything else you guys would like to know, feel free to reach out. You can send us messages. You can hit me up at hello@newtonfallsx.com. You can message on Facebook. Any kind of way that's convenient for you guys, feel free to reach out. If you have some kind of questions or comments or something, we'd love to have that shared with us, and I'd be happy to get it to these guys and try to get an answer.
For sure.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Dougle, thank you for your time. Thank you very much, Tessa. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good luck to you guys in March, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Make sure you can vote for 2.
Top
Oh, yes,
two.
that is very important. Make sure
2.
that you vote for 2
Top 2 guys.
on Tuesday. 2 on Tuesday.
2 on, yeah, nice.
There you go.
2 on Tuesday.
Okay, guys, don't forget to vote. March 17th on Tuesday. 2 on Tuesday, like they said. Don't forget. See you guys later. Have a good one.